Aaron Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between the cracks. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Losses Above Replacement, the greatest baseball podcast. Two great series. I'm today's host, Mathias and with me, as always, we have our very own trade candidates, Alex Clark and Ryan Splashpots. Gentlemen, we're recording on a Tuesday evening to accommodate some schedule conflicts, but how are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
I feel good just being even wanted for a trade candidate. I mean, the fact that people even want me at that point, hell yeah, let's go.
And hello, Ralph. Yes, it is the best time of the week.
It do be like that. I wonder what I would get traded for, though. I think on a previous podcast episode, we either Mac missed or we were contemplating trading Mac to another podcast.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, so good times.
I think I've told you guys about this before, but back when I was in high school, I did a mock news sports segment, and it was all about parody. And this is back when the Mariners had Sean Figgins on the team. And so the segment was that the Mariners had made a trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers here back in 2011 here, made a trade with the Dodgers, trading away Sean Figgins for $15 gift certificates to Wendy's. And I legit went into a 5-minute little monologue of why this was a good trade for both sides.
I mean, that's a fair trade. That could get you a lot of baconators.
I was about to say, you gotta get those baconators ready.
Baconators, some Frosties. I don't know, the spicy chicken nuggets.
I want them to bring back the orange creamsicle Frosties. Those things were absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Please bring those back.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that'd be a fair trade. But yeah, I was away last week. As you guys may have noticed, I was at my friend's wedding in the Dominican Republic. That was a lot of fun. I learned. I mean, obviously, you guys know how much that country loves baseball. But really? I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I know. But I'm on Friday night at the wedding, the bartenders, whenever they got a chance, they loved talking baseball with us. I know. One of them said his favorite player was Junior Caminero, and the other one said Fernando Tatis Jr. And another one said he really liked Christopher Sanchez. So yeah, great getting to talk baseball with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, XYZ Ball says the Giants to trade Devers for you, Splash. I mean,
I don't think
Splash,
we're
can you play
that
first base. I
don't think we're accepting that trade. Here's the thing.
I'm not accepting it either, honestly.
I don't want to take on Devers' contract here, and Splash, I'm pretty sure you are a much more fitting podcast host.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I would try at least play first base.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go with Ron Washington teaching me.
Actually, yeah, Ron Washington. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, it's not that hard. I mean,
yeah,
it's incredibly odd.
Yeah, and he has Luis Arias playing at a semi-Gold Glove level, and I mean, it's a good ballpark to not hit homers in. So maybe there's a shot.
I mean, if you get on base, that's all you need to do. You get on base, play a half decent first base. I think.
I would love to learn how to play first from Ron Washington. Just because, again, I've been playing him my entire life. I would love to have that defensive help. I would love to see how good I could get at that point. Because I've been getting better in the games I've been playing on Fridays and Sundays and all that, defensively especially. But man, having Wash help out would be awesome.
I mean, when I was younger, I always wanted to play third base. I played some third base here and there. Played some second base. So yeah, I think. Just I don't know. A few weeks working with Ron Washington, I wonder what type of defense I could play.
I personally, defense peaked when I was 8 years old. The kid playing second base turned an unassisted triple play.
Oh,
so that was probably the peak. I was playing third. He catches a liner, tags the guy that had pulled off second, and then tagged the guy who was running over from first. It's like, okay, we have an unassisted triple play here. Let's go.
I mean, my defense peaked when I took a one-hopper, or not a one-hopper. I took a grounder off my shoulder, goes into center field, and the center fielder threw the guy out going home. And then it turns out the guy on first just kept running so it turned double play. So
Yeah,
technically, I
that's
like
good.
started the double play by taking it.
Yeah.
It like took a bad hop or something because I was like in position to field, and I was like, oh, all of a sudden it hit me in the shoulder, went
Yeah,
to
that's
center
good.
field, and I guess the base running went haywire from there.
Yeah, it's like the Sean Casey and Pablo Ozuna play
Oh my god, yeah,
with a 5-7-3 put out.
yeah, because it went off Cree's glove, yeah.
My,
Like apoplectic. Like, how did he catch that? Oh wait,
Yeah.
I don't think my defense like has fully peaked because I've actually pulled off some really good plays even this year. I had one where I was playing first and the throw was way wide left here, and I leapt off the bag, made the catch,
Oh,
and
nice.
put the tag on the guy at first, and then a throw back home to keep a run from scoring.
That is good defense. I mean, that's what a first baseman is supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I great at defense? No. Do I do all right? I guess. Yeah, I think I do all right.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about trade candidates, and we are going to talk a little bit about a guy who does play some first base. There's one trade this past week that was kind of a shock, I think, to a lot of people. The Red Sox trading Connolly early, left-handed pitcher, young promising arm, to the Nationals for utility man Curtis Mead, who's having a breakout season in Washington. He was, on the waiver wire earlier in the offseason during spring training, gets sent in a waiver deal to Washington, and he was having a breakout year. So the Red Sox take this gamble on the guy. They trade Connolly early, who started Game 3 of the wild card series for them last year and was having a solid year in the majors this year. And unfortunately, Curtis Mead, in his first game with the Red Sox, took a pitch off his hand, has a fractured wrist, and probably will not play the rest of the regular season. So we're removing the injury, like injury aside. What was your guys' reaction to this deal? Because I think, the Nationals are selling high on a guy who's having a career year. He's in his mid-20s, but like he's never been this type of hitter in the majors before. While the Red Sox are dealing a guy who they literally trusted to start an elimination game last year, and is I think a promising young arm. I know he's injured right now, but what was your guys' reaction?
I was pretty surprised, honestly. And I think the main reason for it was this felt like a lateral kind of move for the Red Sox here. And I don't mean that as such that, that Early and Mead are the same kind of caliber player, but it was trading from one position to another, basically. You're trading a promising young starting pitcher for a promising young fielder. Like, that makes sense here, right? But again, it's a lateral move when we're in trade season that does not usually have lateral moves. So it felt kind of odd, especially with the Nationals not really in the competitive picture this year. They could still be. We talked about it last week about it, but I'm just being kind of real on it for right now. But at the same point here, Mead is a good young player, so it made sense for both sides because the Red Sox needed a little bit of a jolt on offense. They really needed a jolt on offense, whereas the Nationals just want more arms to build around because I'm going to be real, I can't really name almost any of the pitchers that are on that team. I can name a couple of them, but that's about it. This will give Early a lot of time to work with here. I can't overlook the injury, though. And that's what really hurts for all of this here. Because, again, obviously, bleep happens, right? Like, that's just how baseball works sometimes. But this is a big blow, I think, for the Red Sox, because not only did you just lose, a young arm that you have a lot of confidence in, aka one that started in an elimination game last year, but you also now don't have that fielder that was supposed to be that spark for your offense. Here, overall, putting the injury aside, again, I needed to make sure I brought that up. But putting the injury aside, I think the trade makes sense for both sides. It's just not the kind of deal that we expect to see, in late July, right? This feels like a trade that you would see in the offseason, right? Where it's trade from a position of strength to help out a position of weakness, yada, 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 that blah, 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 blah. We see those kinds of trades happen during the offseason or the beginning of the year. This is the time of year where we're seeing prospects for established talent here. This is the time that we are seeing that, just extra pieces are getting moved around here for names that you will not hear for 2 more years here. So seeing one that it is major league ready for major league ready, that's what mostly caught me off guard. It's just the timing.
Yeah, this is a very strange trade. I was at work and it's like, what? Why are you trading early? And that was my initial reaction, frankly. Why are you trading early? And frankly, Curtis Mead has been in our baseball lives longer than Connolly Early has. Connolly Early, debuted last year, pitched a little bit in the playoffs. Curtis Mead debuted all the way back in 2023. And that's like, they're similar-ish ages. Mead isn't quite yet 26, Early turned 24 in April. So they're not like years and years apart here, but Early was well regarded, and the first thing you do when a trade goes down is you check the Baseball Savant page. You can say one of the teams is a moron, and you look at Early's Baseball Savant page, and I can pop it up while I'm talking here, and you're a little underwhelmed. And my initial reaction is, okay, maybe they're kind of selling more on the prospects of Early, because he has pitched well in the big leagues. He has a 3.44 ERA this season, 1.6 Baseball Reference WAR. He's been pretty solid. And then you look at the Baseball Savant page, it's like, this guy is mid. But you have to remember he is a lefty, and lefties being the uncommon, the lesser of two, like the 93 mile per hour fastball. Yeah, but it's more like 95. It plays up a little bit, and he has great extension. So his 93 mile per hour fastball from the left side is more like 96 or 97, or feels like 96 or 97. And keep in mind, this is his first time going through the big leagues. This is his first time, struggling. It's his first time facing many of these hitters, and they're going to get their licks off of him. But Boston has really developed pitching, and they're having a great season pitching wise. Sonny Gray's been excellent. Ranger Suarez, Garrett Crochet is not having a good season this year, but the last couple years he's been super dynamic. And I think it's an encouraging profile, and I think he's an encouraging profile for Washington to take advantage of. And like Alex said, it's a shuffling of the resources. And this, like I've said previously, if you did the Paredes for Duran trade, that would have been no different than this pitching for infield help trade. So I like the trade from Washington's perspective. I like it less so from Boston's perspective, but I can get behind adding another guy that can get on base and ignoring the injury for the moment. His spray chart, Mead's spray chart, is perfect for Fenway. And Fenway is a great place to hit, especially for a guy like Curtis Mead, who's not necessarily like the light tower power, but he sprays the ball all over the ballpark. He already has 17 doubles and 17 homers this season with Washington. And, he gets on base. He has a 350 on base clip this year. And even for his career, he's been a guy that does get on base. He has a career 8% walk rate. And that, I believe when he came up, or our first introduction to him, other than the Christopher Sanchez trade, was him walking a bunch in spring training. And it's, finally hit this year. He's walking 12% of the time. And I'd like the profile. I know he's out for the year, or going to be out for most of the rest of the season. That really stinks. But I thought it was a decent move. Pardon the pun, it was a little early to move off Connolly. For me, but Boston does have a lot of pitching, and Washington needs pitching, and Washington, I feel like they could have still used Curtis Mead, but I guess you're still trying to work in your young players. You keep drafting at the top of the draft, and you have a slew of shortstop prospects you want to mix in, and I don't think Mead's blocking the likes of like Eli Willits or whatever moving forward. But I guess you decrease the logjam there and you help out the pitching. And the Nationals pitching is the only reason they are not a playoff team. It's probably the only reason they're not leading the NL East, given the Braves' struggles and the Phillies' insistence on throwing Aaron Nola out there every few days.
I mean, this is one of the Nationals are in a weird spot this year. All right, I wouldn't say they're definitely a year ahead of schedule. I'll say that much. But at the same time, they're not quite at the level where I think they can be like a serious contender. And the reason, like you were saying, is that pitching staff is, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm really referring to the bullpen. I think Foster Griffin has been really, nice this year coming back from his tour of duty in Japan. I mean, he's been quite the surprise, actually. I'm honestly wondering if the Nationals will trade him next week or try to extend him because he's only on a 1-year deal. But they're selling high on Curtis Mead. All right, this is a guy who was once a top prospect with the Rays, couldn't really figure it out in the majors, and it seems like he's figured it out this year, along with a lot of the guys in the Nationals. Maybe we'll talk about them later in the episode, but I mean, yeah, the Nats get a promising young arm, I think. And I know that the Baseball Savant page is not great for Connolly early, and he gives up a lot of home runs, but he's shown promise, really. I think, he's young. And I honestly wonder if this is a guy who the Red Sox could have gotten without trading early. I frankly was not expecting, major league talent to get traded for Curtis Mead. Mead's offense has been a pleasant surprise. His defense, I mean, I'm not quite sure where he'd be playing. I know that the Red Sox had him at second base yesterday, but he struggled at third base in the past. He's not really a first baseman. I know he was a middle infielder in the minors at one point with the Rays, but I mean, look, if they want him at second base, I think it's fine. The Red Sox really, really need help in the middle infield. I mean, I think the corner spots with Caleb Durbin and Wilson Contreras, those are fine, which is crazy to say because Caleb Durbin was really bad for the first 2 months of the season, but he's worked his way back to being a solid major leaguer. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird spot there because you could say he's like a utility guy, but he's not really that good at any position. But also, I don't think he would DH because they have guys like Yoshida there too. And they also have Anthony Stiegler, who has been a pleasant surprise this year. So yeah, it's not a bad trade, I'd say, for the Red Sox. Obviously, the injury gets in the way. There is an elbow concern about Early too, which, I mean, maybe that played a factor here. Not only do the Red Sox have great pitching depth this year, I mean, you can go on and on about how good they've been. They started the year with Peyton Tolley in the bullpen. Now he's one of their best starters, and they don't even have Garrett Crochet right now. So there's more, in theory, more internal rotation help coming. But I mean, the Red Sox have Early on the IL with an elbow injury. That's never a good sign. So, I mean, I think it could end up being a win-win. I think I side a little bit with the Nationals here because we've seen what Early can do at the major league level. But I understand why the Red Sox made this deal.
One of the things that my voice is cracked there. One of the things that I'm getting some kind of at least ringing bell comparisons to here is the Pineda-Montero trade from years ago here, where again, another promising young bat, promising young pitcher, but both of them have their quote concerns. And I could see this going the exact same way. I don't want it to because I want players to succeed at the major league level. But this feels very much like that here, where for the Nationals taking on Early, the big risk is that he's young and already has elbow issues here. Because again, as I hate saying it, but unfortunately it's just true. When you have an injury, you are more likely to get another injury. That's just how they work, unfortunately. And then on the Red Sox side of things, I think that was mainly why they decided to get rid of Early, is that they saw that this is what's happening right now. Are we going to want to deal with that, or are we going to try and sell high? Whereas for the Nationals here, it's the same kind of idea here. You have a player that is playing way above expectations this year, so sell high on it and get somebody that you know that can help you not just now, but in the near to late future. Here, and does it always work out that way? No, that's why I brought up the Montero and Pineda trade, because we all kind of know how that worked out here. But to be fair, both sides did get a good bit out of it. The Mariners got Montero, who was interesting for a year, but he also was the one run in Felix Hernandez's perfect game. And then for Pineda here, he pitched in a number of very memorable games and a lot of big moments here, as well as did make an all-star team. So with that being said here, I want both players to succeed here. with the injury, you obviously have to give the edge here to the Nationals. Here, I think. But I think for the coming future, I think the Red Sox may have gotten themselves either the steal of the century or the dud of the century. Because we have seen players that have done these amazing high jumps and then just completely fall right back down. Here, where it's the flash in the pan type idea. Do I want that to happen again? No, I want players to succeed because fun baseball is fun baseball. But with that being said here, there's always going to be risks here. And right now we can see a little bit more of the risk management assessment of both the Red Sox and the Nationals, especially with where they see their current positions.
I do want to throw out that Meade is a free agent after the 2031 season, and not totally the other one. Early's a free agent after the 2032 season. So both of these are fake years, and we'll probably have lockouts by then. So they might as well be free agents now, I guess.
Yeah. And to Splash's point earlier, Meade is good one. Meade is a right-handed hitter who pulls the ball plenty. That will work quite well at Fenway Park. Ask Jason Bay about that one. But anyway, I say we move on to our question of the day.
Yeah.
And I have that prepared. So here we go.
You have the graphic.
Here. Yeah.
No, I got you. Yeah. It's time for the question of the day.
Anyway, so this is sort of inspired by a clip I saw today on Twitter from a local radio station in the DC area, but they're asking fans if the Nationals should retire Max Scherzer's number. Now, obviously, the answer is yes there because he's literally the best pitcher in franchise history. But I'm going to ask you guys for your favorite teams. Who do you think is the next? Will have his number retired next?
Ooh. Okay.
It's a prestigious honor, so
it is. And finally, the Mariners have started doing that here because, again, for the longest time, they had one number retired. I'll give you a guess on whose number that was. Hint, hint. It was the number that everybody had retired.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think...
Wow, Jackie Robinson played for the Mariners?
Wow! Yeah. He wouldn't want to be on the West Coast at all. Anyway, that's actually a tough one because I have a few names, right? The first of which is obviously Felix, right? I mean, that one makes the most sense here. The perfect game thrower, one of the best pitchers in Mariner history. But I'm going to throw in one more. I don't know if he was fully worthy of number retirement, but I think it could be. And that name is Kyle Seager. I love Seager, and Seager has such a special place in Mariner fan hearts here that why not, right? Like, anytime anyone wears 15 now for the Mariners, you're always just going to think it's Kyle Seager. Like, might as well just let that number be his.
I think Atlanta-wise, it's hard to not say a certain first baseman that is currently playing his trade for the Evil Empire. I think
God.
Yeah,
that's the easiest answer here, because they've retired more jerseys in recent years. Andrew Jones, of course, Chipper Jones. So I think you've gotten the group of the 90s teams out of the way, right? And I don't think you necessarily had players outside of the Jones Bros in the 2000s that would be worthy of a jersey retirement. And also the pitchers, of course, the Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox, they were in when I was a kid, right? So I think a certain Frederick is the next player on the list. I could hear an argument that you don't retire his jersey. I don't know. I guess it depends.
He won a ring, though. I feel like
it's a tough one.
Like
sort of Jorge Soler, though.
I mean, that's true. Unfortunately. I could hear an argument for it. I think it's he's in the level of players that have gotten their jersey retired, like Freddie and say Dale Murphy, but Dale Murphy spent more of his career with Atlanta than Freddie did, and Freddie might spend half of his career in LA. Although I guess there's a shot he comes back. He's a free agent after the 2028 season. So not entirely out of the question, I guess. But if you're thinking of like more of an active player, I think Ronald would be the best bet, the most talented player, or Ozzy.
I was thinking Olsen maybe also. I mean, it's
Olsen's a fair one. It depends out of the group who retires first, that sort of deal.
I still think Acuna probably has the best chance of all of them, though.
Oh, yeah, Acuna, I think easily.
Acuna's the best player. Ozzy's going to have him beat on tenure by a year.
Yeah.
And Ozzy's like unquestionably the best second baseman in the history of the Atlanta Braves. As good as Ronald is, he is not unquestionably like the best outfielder or in the top three of best outfielders, because that's a Dale Murphy, Andrew Jones, Aaron conversation.
Yeah, I mean
that's an insane outfield, by the way.
So that's a fun one. So I think Freddie has a shot, and he would likely be the first to retire. Then I think Ronald and Ozzy have different like shapes of production to get there, and then Olsen. I guess there's not a non-zero shot that Olsen gets his retired, and maybe Chris Sale if he wins another Cy Young.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is, I know it's hard deciding like who actually gets their number retired. I mean, it's there are so many guys I think of who are like they were great for the franchise, but like are they good enough necessarily to get their number retired? If I'm thinking of retired players. Like, I think for the Mets, it'd probably be John Franco. I mean, he was a team captain. He's the franchise's leader in saves. But realistically, so Carlos Beltran's getting number 15 retired this September. Realistically, I'm going to go with his compatriot. I think the next guy who gets his number retired for the Mets is probably number 12. It's Francisco Lindor. Because, I mean, you think about all the guys, that have come through the organization who've, like, really stood out. I guess the closest guy to retirement right now is Jacob deGrom. I do not know if they would retire number 48. And, look, personally, I think I would retire number 48. But at the same time, the way, his tenure with the Mets sort of ended abruptly. It's the same with number 9, Brandon Nimmo. Like, would Brandon Nimmo like get number 9 retired, even though we know how his tenure ended in New York? And the other guy I'd think of who isn't active, but number 8, Gary Carter. I know that his tenure with the Mets wasn't as great as people think it was. He was still an integral part of their World Series team. Like that was kind of a culture shifter when it started with trading for Keith Hernandez. Then it really, I feel like it was like a full, like 180. Like this team is a winner here when they traded for Gary Carter. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think realistically though, number 12 is the next.
So Freddie is 11th among Braves in WAR among players who played with a number. Sorry, with all due respect to Kid Nichols, who did not play with a number. The top 10 are all not Hall of Famers. Dale Murphy is not in the Hall of Fame. Arg. The top 10 are the retired jerseys. No one outside of the top 10 is a retired jersey. Bobby Cox and Jackie Robinson notwithstanding. So Freddie's like literally the new cutoff. And then at least WAR-wise, you'd have to look at Joe Torre, who was like a Hall of Fame-ish player, definitely a Hall of Fame manager, but
I think he was a Hall of Fame caliber player, man.
I think so too. That's worth the discussion. And then Ronald is the next on the list among players who played since the introduction of jersey numbers.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, we did have a Hall of Fame induction over the weekend. Shout out to the 3 players, and Joe Buck who got inducted.
Put a pin in that. We might be returning.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on. It's that time of year. Trade deadline is on Monday, August 3rd. So like we do with basically everything, involving potentially players changing teams, we're going to do a trade deadline draft. So we are each going to pick 5 players who we think will switch teams. We're going to say which player, which team they're going to get traded for. And we'll do a snake draft here, like always. So in the past, we've done this last year. I believe we give out points for if the player gets traded, if we get the team correct, or if we get the division correct, if I'm not mistaken. I know we did that
Yeah,
last year.
if I remember right, what it is that you get 1 point if the player doesn't get traded, 2 extra points if you get the right team, but just 1 point if you get the correct division.
So here's what we did in the off season.
Yes.
So fun names. I don't know.
Some of these guys did get traded, but not to the teams we picked. I don't know what I was thinking of when I picked Josh Hader. I had the right idea with Mackenzie Gore. I did get Freddie Peralta right.
Yeah.
Boy, that is aged quite poorly.
Brandon Lau got traded, and Arenado got traded.
Yeah, so I mean, there were actually there were a decent amount of trades now that I think about it. Anyways, we're gonna do the draft order, anyways. So hang on 1 second. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do random number generator.
Shout out.
What's up? Or sorry, random name picker. 1 second.
5 rounds.
Yep, 5 rounds.
Sure.
Yeah, 5 rounds. All right, here we go. We're gonna.
And while you're getting that taken care of, yeah, Eddie, I'm down for fantasy. I'm just saving for a trip right now. Just hit me up.
Okay.
I will be in a new city in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Eddie, I can't believe you wouldn't ask me. How dare you?
Hey, if you guys want to do a college football fantasy league, I'm going to start one.
I don't watch much college football.
All right. I
Fair
promise this is not rigged, but the order is myself, then Splash, then Alex.
All right,
It's rigged.
Alex,
It's absolutely rigged.
Alex, do we agree that this is the time to walk out of the podcast?
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Who was second?
You
were.
Okay, maybe not as rigged as it could have been.
It's extremely rigged. This
right.
is a sham, a Lamaz.
All right, so I'll go first here. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off here, and I really, really hate myself for saying it. Tarek Skubal is getting traded. He's going to the Evil Empire.
That was my first pick.
I just said that.
Yeah, that was my first pick though too.
At this point, the Tigers are not contenders, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The AL is weak, and they have fallen too far, in my opinion. And the Dodgers actually need starting pitching, if you wouldn't believe it. So this makes too much sense.
So this would give me the win in the offseason trade draft.
Yeah,
that is true. Yes,
because I think we're tied. Or no, you're up 1. Because I got Lau and Arenado being traded at all, and you had Peralta to the right team and Gore getting traded. So I would win that. I'm obviously kidding. That doesn't count. So you take the low hanging fruit, of course.
I don't even know if it's that low hanging, but
is it? Well, that would have been my pick, unfortunately.
All right.
No, like that was the pick I had slated for.
All right, man.
Okay. So I could be a delusional Yankees supporter and say Mason Miller to the Yankees. I'm not going to do that.
I've heard rumors. Yeah.
I've heard rumors, but a lot of them are from the big stupid known as Yankees fans on Twitter.
Yeah,
there are reasonable Yankee fans. Let me be clear.
There are.
There's too many Yankees fans for them to all be unreasonable. But the worst are the people that plug it into like the trade simulators, which they're fine to some degree for other sports, but yikes!
Not work in baseball.
No, not work in baseball. All right, I'm gonna go a little off the board here. I have a clever one, I'd say. A team that has already been active in trade season, and another team that's already been active in trade season. But we've seen Craig Breslow has done this bit before. I have a player going to Boston by the name of C.J. Abrams.
Oh,
ooh, that's a big move. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
He's been like one of the best players in the National League this year. Shortstop, probably a second baseman, with all due respect. The defense is not good. But hey, I think you'd hit really well in Fenway. And Boston already did this bit in the offseason when they traded for Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray separately from the Cardinals. So CJ Abrams, welcome to Boston, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I see Abrams actually getting moved, but Boston does have the capital to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, well, we'll go into mine here, and I have double picks here. And from what I remember, we agreed that we cannot choose the same player twice here, but just to a different team. Yeah. So I'm going to go have fun and say Mason Miller to the Mariners.
I almost made that with my first pick.
Oh, Gucci Mane.
Here's the thing, right? Like, do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think it makes sense, though? Yeah. I think the main thing with it is that it would have to be something involving probably Emerson Hancock and more likely Lázaro Montes. Here is what I'm hearing. And do I think that works? Actually, kind of, yeah, I do. The more I think about it, the more I'm actually like the idea, especially given the fact that you still have Mason Miller for 3 years. So, there's that to work with here. Plus, I saw this nice piece earlier today from Jeff Passan, who was talking about if Miller went to the Mariners here, you would automatically put him in the closer's role, and Munoz gets moved into the 8th inning role. And by having that whole lineup shift down, kind of like what I talk about when it comes to the starting pitching lineup, here is that it gets so much better because you added someone at the top, that someone that you had higher up gets to move down here. And I think that works really well for Seattle specifically, as they're still trying to get to that playoff hunt.
Yeah, and I'll just add on here. Passan did mention that he thinks Emerson Hancock gets moved this trade deadline, and this is the deal to do it right here. I think.
Yeah.
The Mariners are one of the few teams that have the capital where they could go out and actually trade for Mason Miller. Does it actually happen? Who knows? But I think that's like the one team I see where a deal could actually materialize.
Plus, Seattle knows how good Mason Miller is. He played for the A's. We've seen him a lot here. But, yeah, scoreboard watching Padres shouldn't trade Miller. Yeah,
it's an awkward situation because the National League West is a lost cause, but the Padres have underperformed this year, but they're talented enough where they could go on a hot streak, but at the same time, it's you're a 500 team with the best reliever in baseball. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your wraparound here?
My wraparound pick, I'm actually going to go a little bit farther down here, and I'm going to go Ryan Jeffers here because there's a number of teams that have needed some catching help here, and the team that I've picked, I think, could use it probably the most and probably would be willing to overpay to get him is the Yankees. I think the Yankees could use a little bit of extra help there, and I think that if they want to get a number one type of guy for it, it's probably going to be Jeffers. To be fair, in my own little in-head mock drafts, I had visions of they were just going to buy low on Mitch Garver, but I'm like, it's the Yankees. They don't buy low. They just kind of go for it here. So I think that Jeffers makes a lot of sense here because again, the Central, like you said, it's such a weird division. There's nothing to work with it in the Central. So with that being said here, though, I think that this is the time where they're going to start making some more moves, especially if they aren't going to be dealing away Buxton.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Alex, you are being posterized right now because I also have a catcher being traded to the Yankees. I have none other than Hunter Goodman.
To the
Yankees.
How am I being posterized with this?
Because it's another catcher.
That doesn't sound like it's a posterized. It sounds like we're both going for the ball at the jump off.
Okay. Hunter Goodman, in the wise words of 17-year-olds, look maxes and play maxes, a certain Ryan Jeffers, although Jeffers has been hurt, so that's part of his issue. But Goodman, incredible power. Like you said, the Yankees are going to make some moves, and catcher's been a really weak spot since Austin Wells hasn't developed like a certain someone me thought he would. But hey, everyone else on the team, besides shortstop, besides third base, the Yankees have some issues. Let's give them a break. Besides relief pitcher, the Yankees could use a little bit of help. so they can win the World Series like I predicted back in March. So Hunter Goodman, welcome down, or come on down.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's almost certain the Yankees trade for a catcher. I'm not sure if Goodman actually gets dealt. I know he's another guy. He's controllable. I mean, at the same time, the Rockies, I mean, they could benefit from selling high here. And he seems like the type of guy whose power would play outside of Coors, considering for some reason he's been really good away from Coors. But I am not doing a catcher here to the Yankees, but I am doing a middle infielder to the Red Sox. Give me Zach Neto. I think he's going to the Red Sox. So here's the things that the Nationals actually look like they have a path to contention in the sort of near future. The Angels, I don't know what they're doing. They're spinning their wheels. Zach Neto, I think, fills the need the Red Sox have at shortstop. You know, he actually plays better defense than CJ Abrams. He doesn't have quite the same power, and he does strike out a lot. He's leading the AL in strikeouts, but I mean, he plays solid defense, I think, at shortstop. It'd be an upgrade over Abrams. He steals bases. He's been a 2020 guy. And he's going to cost a lot less than Abrams, I think. He's still going to cost a lot, don't get me wrong, because he's young and controllable. But if the Red Sox are going to get a guy to be their shortstop for the future, I think it's Neto right here. The Angels, I don't know when the Angels are going to be contending again, so I think it's much easier to trade with the Angels than it is to trade with the Nationals. And like I said, he's under club control for a while. The Sox have the capital to make the trade happen. And then I'm gonna go to the Pirates here. Their bullpen is a disaster. Just like the Nationals, they'd probably be in a much more favorable position if they had any sort of bullpen. I think they go for another closer here, Luke Weaver. I think they have the prospect capital to satisfy the Mets. I think Weaver goes to the Pirates here. They give up one of their higher end guys. I'd say a couple of top 10 guys here in their farm system. I think he becomes the closer in Pittsburgh, and they do still battle for that final wild card spot. This team, I think, considering all the great performances they've gotten this year, they should be in a better position than they are currently. And a lot of it has to deal with, they began the year with Dennis Santana as the closer. He was a disaster. Then Gregory Soto takes over. He hasn't been that good. So I think Luke Weaver would be the stabilizer they need.
Boys and girls, I'm going to utter a few words that I cannot believe I'm uttering at this point. Jurickson Profar is going to help out the Braves. Why is that? Because he's suspended for the year, so his money doesn't count. So that's why Kevin Gossman, come on down. Former Brave.
That'd be a reunion.
Yeah, former Brave returns to the Braves. I think this is the one bright part, I guess, about Profar being the big stupid. Is you get his money back, and other teams, they budget for the year when you have your rosters. The Braves, their budget for the year got slashed by about $15 million, give or take, whatever competitive balance tax number you're using. So they have some extra funds that they can use on a Kevin Gossman and say, hey, Toronto, we're going to take most of, if not his entire salary, and you're going to get like a throw-in player. You're not going to get, like the red hot Eric Hartman or Tate Southacene or one of Atlanta's like big prospects, but maybe it's Gossman and you pay the entire contract for like the 23rd player in the Braves system, something to that degree. So Kevin Gossman, welcome back. Hopefully you're better than you were the last time.
Yeah, that absolutely tracks.
I feel like he's almost a lock to get traded.
Yeah.
I also had him on my big board, and I did not have him going to the Braves, though.
All right. So for my wraparound picks, I actually have a story to tell for these two picks because this is a story of rivalry. So with my first one here, I've already talked about the Yankees, so let's talk about them a little bit more. And the Yankees could use a little bit more offense, right? Because they always want more offense here. You really want offensive players. And there's a third baseman, though he's been playing a lot of first base lately. that is also known as being someone that the Red Sox fans may or may not be okay with anymore. And so Rafael Devers will be going to the Yankees here, where at this point here it is for the sole purpose of, one, a little bit of extra offense, because Ryan McMahon should not be your starting third baseman according to MLB.com. But the other thing with it is that they are trying to still win the division, and what better way than having a little bit of mind games with your own division rival, shall we say. And then on the flip end of that, here I can see the Red Sox going in kind, getting a former Yankee that is on, and you know what? They need a little bit of help in the infield as well. So they go to the Tigers to get Gleyber Torres here to play for the Red Sox here. And so now each side has bolstered their offenses with a player from each other's side here. A story of rivalry told years later.
I appreciate the bit.
I could actually see Torres going to Boston. Devers going to the Yankees. I don't know about that one, that contract.
Look, if there's any team that's going to do it, there are two teams that would do it, are the Dodgers and the Yankees.
I can see the Yankees maybe taking that. The Dodgers are in the division.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why I didn't go Dodgers with this. One, it worked for the bit, but two, because look, they're not getting traded within division, so might as well go all the way to the other side.
All right. Interesting. I have another Giant being traded. I have a certain Luis Ariz being traded. I'm a little surprised he didn't go off higher. I have him taking his talents from one bay to another bay, the Tampa Bay. Mix in some contact, mix in some on-base ability, get on base in front of Junior Caminero when he hits his 700-foot tanks with the greatest home run trots of all time. Runs. Now, I think Ariz would be a worse hitter in Tampa because of the way his batted ball profile goes in San Francisco, but hopefully he continues to be a good defender at second base, and he also has versatility to play first. So Kevin Cash likes to mix and match lineups, and Ariz has enough bat control to hit against lefties, hit against righties. So would be an everyday player, and the Rays are not famous for having all of their everyday players. They love the platoons and they love the matchup game, but Ariz gives them another a lefty bat to say, hey, he can face lefties and he will hold his own. Has been solid at second this year. He's a veteran. He's a gamer. He can put some balls in play and give you a little bit of a. I think he'd be an interesting pairing with Chandler Simpson. If Simpson's on, you can run hit and run with Ariz's elite bat to ball skills. So just a different wrinkle for Tampa as they look to hold on to the AL East.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the Giants actually move Ariz. That's my thing.
I think they should. They absolutely
should. I agree. I think they should. I just wonder if Buster Posey tries something where he tries to extend him or something, because I mean he's worked out way better than any of us could have predicted in San Francisco, especially as a second baseman. Sure. But anyway, I'll move on to mine. My last two picks. The first one I think has become kind of clear the last couple days. Even was brought up by Jeff Passan on radio today. Freddie Peralta gets traded back to the Brewers. This seems inevitable, if I'm being honest. It just hasn't worked out in Flushing. All right. And I mean, he was very, very good in Milwaukee. I think we all know how this goes. He goes back to Milwaukee. He somehow turns back into Freddie Peralta down the stretch, and then he re-signs. I don't know if he'll actually re-sign with them, but it's one of those things where I'm like, the writing seems like it's on the wall here. And then I'll go. I'm going to put another Yankee on the board here. Luis Garcia. There's one other guy I see the Nationals moving from their offense. It's Luis Garcia. I think he would thrive in the Bronx with the short porch. His power profile, man, he's turned into quite the masher this year. So yeah, Luis Garcia, I think, is a new utility / DH guy in New York, bolstering that lineup that they actually need help here. Paul Goldschmidt has sort of cooled off. Ben Rice can only do so much heavy lifting. Who knows if Aaron Judge is going to play again this year? So the Yankees, they're going to want to go for it. They're sort of starting to run out of time to catch the Rays. So I think Garcia is the bat they're looking for.
I think I could tell you what the Brewers should trade for Freddie Peralta. I think they could trade Jet Williams and
or Brandon Sproat.
I think that would be a fair trade. All right. I don't think the Padres should sell. I think they should buy. So I have them purchasing. I have them making a trade. As we see one all-star Tigers pitcher go to the West Coast, I have another one. Casey Mize, come on down to the Padres. The Padres rotation has been brutal. And I'm just saying, you get one guy that can throw 5 innings in October. The Padres go from a afterthought, if you can just outscore them through 5 innings, to a really dangerous ball club. I've seen what Michael King can do in the playoffs. He barbecued my franchise. Granted, they couldn't hit anyways, so there's that. But Casey Mize, I think he gets dealt. I also had him potentially going to Atlanta if I didn't choose Gausman. But I do think the Padres, you have the hitters in place. They haven't performed. Merrill, Tatis, Machado, they haven't performed yet unless they're playing the Braves somehow. But you have them, and you have an unbelievable bullpen. You have Miller. Don't trade him to Seattle. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, AJ Preller? Don't be stupid.
Please do it, AJ Preller. That would be awesome.
You have tons of lefties. You can get everyone out. Just you need a little bit more help in the starting rotation. So Casey Mize, come on down. He's a free agent at the end of the year too.
Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to wrap up this draft here with Splash. Congratulations. You're going to get another player here. But unfortunately, Kevin Gausman, maybe someone beat the Braves to getting Gauss. It makes sense. But don't worry. There is a pitcher, a former Cy Young
I swear to God, Alex.
pitcher
I know he's going
that's
for it.
going to go to Atlanta, and that is one Mr. Tight Pants himself, Robbie Ray.
That was not the guy I was thinking of here.
Who did you think I was going to say?
I was thinking of Shane Bieber.
Bieber would be really funny. But at the same time, I think Robbie Ray, makes sense too. A lefty starting pitcher has the accolades, 1 year rental.
It's honestly not a bad fit.
I also think it would be really funny, given the fact, go back to when Robbie Ray was signed by Seattle, right? He was the centerpiece where the next person signed was Gausman. Now,
That's true, yeah.
in the year of our Lord 2026, Kevin Gausman was the centerpiece, and the leave-off piece is Robbie Ray for the Braves.
Were they teammates, or did they not overlap in Toronto?
They did not overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Ray signed with Seattle, and then the Jays
A day
immediately
later,
signed
signed with the
Gausman.
Jays, yeah.
To nearly identical deals too. I mean, I think I know Ray got injured, but he's been relatively productive over the course of that deal. Granted, for the Giants mostly, but and Gausman has turned into. I mean, he's a guy who probably gets inducted into the Jays Hall of Fame at some point. He's been a workhorse for them.
Sure.
But anyway, yep.
Yeah, there we go. Ray did stuff us in a locker during a resumed game.
Oh yeah.
When the lineup was set to face a righty, then Ray just comes in and mows down a bunch of lefties.
Yeah.
So, but we stuffed him in a locker in 2024. Harris hit a grand slam in the first inning. So, yeah.
Was he was on the Giants, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was 7.
He was only in Seattle for 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then he got injured. That's right. But anyways, that's our trade deadline draft. Let us know if you think we missed someone. Maybe you tell us who you think is going to get traded into what team. But anyway, it's time for everyone's favorite segment. It's time for Trivia. Splash, take it away.
Bang, bang. I'm not going to finish that line for the sake of Alex's mental health. Although the Seahawks are better than the 49ers right now, so you can take solace in that.
I will.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, 2 of us had Hall of Fame inductees this weekend. Carlos Beltran of the Mets and various other teams, Andrew Jones of the Braves and various other teams, finally went into the Hall of Fame. So today we have some center fielder themed trivia. This is a simple buzzer one. I will read off clues from a player's baseball reference page. They are Hall of Famers. I will give you an example that is not a Hall of Famer. So, for example, he is bats right, throws right, plays center field, of course. Born August 7th, 1991 in Vineland, New Jersey.
It's Mike Trout.
Yes, that is one. Michael Nelson Trout. So we'll go first to 5 wins. Is that cool?
Yep. Sounds
first
good
to 5 Mac wins. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Player number 1. That's right. Throws right. He was born March 14th, 1960 in Chicago.
Okay.
These are all Hall of Famers, you said, right?
These are all Hall of Fame center fielders, and no funny business. Okay. This isn't like,
okay.
I don't know. I can't think of a player who played like 1 game in center field. This is not a.
Yeah. These are
not trying
to primary center fielders.
Yeah. According to Baseball Reference, he made his debut in 1984.
Okay.
He has a full hand plus of both Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers.
I'm gonna need another clue here. Yeah.
Okay. He crashed into a plexiglass wall to rip a certain team's heart out during Game 6 of the World Series. Right, Mac?
That's Kirby Puckett.
That is Kirby Puckett, the Hall of Famer. All right. Mac leads 1-0. I actually have a pen this time so I can keep score. All right. That's Mac important. Leads 1-0. I hope you can hear my writing. All right.
Actually, I can. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We are now an ASMR channel.
Okay.
Don't get me started on that one.
All right. This player, bats right, throws right, stands at a towering 6'2", 193 pounds. He was born November 25th, 1914 in Martinez, California.
Okay, so an old timer here.
All right. He had a 3-hit game in his major league debut against the St. Louis Browns.
So an American League guy.
I'm trying to do the math here on this. That if they are born in 14, that means they probably made their debut in the early 30s. Right? If that tracks math wise,
in the 30s at some point, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
If we buzz, then we can't buzz in the rest of the person. Then
I guess you get 1 buzz per clue I give.
Okay,
that's fine.
Then buzz.
Sure.
Ty Cobb.
Yeah. It is not Ty Cobb.
Okay. He batted lefty. I'm gonna need to keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. He inexplicably got Hall of Fame votes in the middle of his career.
What the heck? That's even possible, dude?
Yeah. He received 0.4% of the vote in 1945. He was an active player in 1945.
God, Hall of Fame voting is so
He was in the middle of his career in 1945.
Yeah, I'm going to need another one.
Yeah.
All right. For his career, he had a 760 OPS in the World Series.
Buzz?
Sure.
Is this Duke Snider?
It is not Duke Snider. All right.
I have a feeling it's a Yankee. I'm just not certain which Yankee it is. I'm going to need another clue.
All right. This player did not win a Triple Crown, but at one point in his career led the American League in batting average twice, home runs twice, and RBI twice, but none of them overlapped. Or didn't overlap all 3 in the same season.
Okay, now I'm trying to figure out if this guy was actually Buzz. I'm not sure. Joe DiMaggio?
That is correct.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, I thought it was him earlier in like one of the earlier clues, but I wasn't confident enough that he was born that early. Like,
right.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready? This man bats right, throws right, towering over above all at 5'6", 190 pounds.
Nice.
Nice.
He was born April 26th, 1900.
1900.
1900.
Okay.
All right. He played his career with 4 different teams, although he's particularly famous for one of them.
I feel like I should know this by now, but I don't currently.
I got nothing. Yeah, keep going.
On his baseball reference page, one of his bold and italicized numbers should technically be gold too, because it is an MLB record.
What?
So he holds a major MLB record for a single season.
Okay. Buzz.
Okay.
Hack Wilson.
That would be Hack Wilson. That is correct.
I'm gonna be real. I've never even heard of Hack Wilson. So
191 RBIs in the season. That's his
He
record.
191.
Yeah, that's the record.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I forgot that he was a center fielder. I know that he was an outfielder. That's right. He was 5'6", but hit 56 homers and driven 190 runs in a season.
All right. Our 5th player here. I'm going to pick a very, very good one here. He is, in fact, in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
All right. 6'1", bats left, throws right. Born December 13th, 1923.
Okay.
He was an all-star before playing in the AL/NL.
Okay, so okay. Keep going.
Okay. He played for not 1, not 2, but 3 teams that currently play in the American League Central.
Okay. I'd have to think of what
Yeah.
from the AL Central, what teams were even a thing back when he played. So
it was like the Twins. It was I think the White Sox. I know. I think Cleveland had a team.
White Sox. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need another clue.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. He hit a home run in a Negro League World Series and hit a home run in a AL/NL World Series.
Buzz.
Sure thing.
Is this Larry Doby?
It is Larry Doby.
Let's go.
All right. And I miscounted. That's 4 for you, Mac. And player numero 5. We are going to rock and roll with should we do this player? We'll do this player. This one's a fun one. All right. This player was born May 17th, 1903.
Okay.
In Starkville, Mississippi. He bats switch. He throws left. Interesting combination.
As I say, that's not very common. Yeah.
No. Part of his career, his professional career, was spent playing in Mexico.
All right.
Yeah. From age 35 to 38, he played his professional ball in Mexico.
Okay, so later in his career.
Sure. Then he came back for 5 years at the end.
Yeah.
He led his league in stolen bases at the ripe old age of 42.
The heck? 42, and he led the. All right. I need another clue.
Yeah.
All right. Speed was his thing. He stole over 300 bases in his career.
Okay, that's a lot of guys.
He led his league once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
8 times stolen base king. All right.
Yes.
Just a buzz to say something at this point here, Mickey Mantle.
It is not Mickey Mantle.
Definitely not. No. All right. Keep going.
All right. His given name is James Thomas, last name.
I mean,
so it's gotta be like what, JT something,
or Jimmy, I guess. I'm gonna need another clue here, man.
Okay. His brother also played professional baseball. That probably doesn't help much.
Not at all, in fact.
Okay. He is a 2-time World Series winner, winning at age 40 and age 41.
So late in his career, he was on some winners.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was not the best player on that team because he played with arguably the greatest player to ever live.
Okay, wait a second.
So he had to have been a Yankee then, I think. Or wait.
Okay, so I'll just because at this point right now I'm not winning this. I'm going to be collaborative to talk here at this point here. The names that come to my mind at the very least of like he played with some of the greatest to ever be are like Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, stuff like that. I don't think it's Willie Mays, but all right, I'll just for funsies bet Willie Mays.
It's not Willie Mays.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
okay.
And he did not play with Willie Mays either.
He did not play with Willie Mays. All right. Well,
then more likely a Yankee.
So
they did not overlap.
Okay.
The player you're guessing played from 1922 to 1946. Mays started in 1948.
Okay. And he's a switch hitter.
Yes, switch hitter.
Through left.
And so oh my god. I'm trying to think like World Series winners too. That's the other thing. Are there any other clues left? I mean,
yeah. This is a quote from that famous teammate of his, the legendary teammate who might be the greatest baseball player to ever live. He was so fast he could get out of bed, turn the lights off across the room, and be back in bed under the covers before the lights went out.
I know this quote.
I've heard this before, but I'm trying to like think of like who in the world this could be.
Right.
Is he
who's that fast?
And he had a brother.
Oh my gosh, I know this. Oh my gosh, I know this. Why can't I think of it?
Yeah, I'm coming a blank here, and I don't know why.
Perhaps it's because he did not play a game in the American League or National League, but he did play 1,200 major league games, not in the AL or NL though.
Oh. Oof.
So quick.
Is it? Oh my god, I should know this.
This is gonna eat me alive because I've heard that quote so many times.
Yeah. And I feel like I know who this person is, but I'm completely blanking on the name here.
One of the most legendary nicknames in Negro League history.
Okay, that's a really high bar because
this is like top level stuff.
Oh,
Alex,
nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Is this Cool Papa Bell?
That is correct. It's Cool
Papa
Bell.
Yeah! I have a point.
So you're not getting shut out today. Yes.
Otherwise known as James Thomas Bell.
James Thomas Bell. Yeah, I should have known that. Yeah.
All right.
Cool Papa Bell. Yes.
Oh
All right.
All right. Well, we have to go one more then.
All right. We move. This player was born in April of 1888.
All right, cool. See you guys.
Great.
Throws left, bats left. Alex throws left, bats left.
Okay.
He was not in the first Hall of Fame class, but he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1939 with those guys.
Okay. I feel like I know who this is, but
Go for it.
I'm not confident enough to give my answer now.
Then.
Alex, go ahead.
Sorry, say again. Oh no, I was telling him to buzz, but I'll buzz. Boom, say Ty Cobb.
It is not Ty Cobb.
Oh, that was gonna be my guess. Oops.
Okay, but he also, like Ty Cobb, has some gold text on his baseball reference page for a major career leader.
Okay, so he's a career leader in something.
Yes.
And he's a center fielder who bats left and throws left. All right, I need another clue.
All right, he won an MVP in the 1910s.
MVP was
It was from 1911 to 1914.
Oh, he's got gold text on his page.
Yes.
And he was one of the early Hall of Fame classes. I think Buzz.
Okay.
Speaker.
That is Tristram Speaker.
Oh,
congratulations, McCorkle.
Thank you.
He also won a World Series for two different clubs, Boston and Cleveland. 792 doubles.
Yeah, dude, he was a machine. Do you know that he was a pitcher at one point too?
Yes, I think he pitched in. Did he pitch in a World Series game?
I think he might have.
Tripping. No, okay. He made one regular season pitching appearance. He allowed 2 hits in a run.
I remember reading about his pitching career, though. Maybe that was as an amateur, but I like that segment, by the way.
Wonderful.
I would run it back at some point. So yeah, thank you, Splash.
Maybe a little bit more like more modern players.
That is a Hall of Fame problem, not a me problem, my friend.
I know, true. But at the same time, there's
been like 2 inducted in the last 25 years.
Yeah, which is crazy because there have been so many great center fielders, but like, yeah, I mean, I think of before this year, like I believe the most recent one was it not Griffey?
Yeah. Griffey makes sense.
I know.
It would have been like Griffey among players who made it like in their first run of balloting. I don't remember. Yeah. Did Dawson make it as a veterans guy?
I think he may have made it.
Right fielder, though.
He was a right fielder. That's the thing.
He was on my list today.
Oh, maybe he's probably listed as a primary center fielder because he moved over to right like later in his career, kind of like Griffey.
Anyway, Griffey moved to a lot of places, including the DH
and first base for a little bit,
and right? Chicago,
yeah,
with the number 17.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Seeing Ken Griffey Jr. White Sox highlights seems just as fake as the Manny Ramirez White Sox highlights, of which there are only one.
What about Manny Ramirez with the Ray?
Oh, yeah, Manny Ramirez is away. Ray, when he went 1 for 17, yes. He was teammates with Hideki Matsui that year, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, no, Matsui was the next year. The Rays, and they're
Fred McGriff, Wade Boggs. They love rolling out the
Johnny Damon,
older timers.
Yeah. All right, Nelson Cruz at one point too.
Yeah, Cruz. He was traded. Was that traded for Joe Ryan?
Joe Ryan. Yep.
Oof. That trade worked out.
Yep.
And then Nelson Cruz forgot how to hit.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was like dead on league average for his Rays.
Yeah, and then he kind of turned into a pumpkin after that, which was unfortunate.
The Nats and Padres.
Yeah, Nats and Padres. All right, so
retired Mariner though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, which is crazy. He was really good in Seattle. I mean,
dude, he was the boomstick in Seattle.
He was boomstick. Awesome. Yeah. All right, so it's time to end the show the same way we end every show, which is with the moment to ourselves. 60 seconds or so to talk about whatever the heck is on our minds. So, who here wants to go first? All right, Splash. Let me just get my stopwatch real quick. Your timer begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance. You got it. Tony Romo, what are we doing? Kyle Shanahan, what are we doing? Can we have good news on the timeline? Social media, can we? Okay, I am a Ravens fan. 86% of my timeline when I'm in like football mode is Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. Can we please shut up? Can we stop? Can we stop posting Josh Allen turnovers? Can we stop posting Lamar Jackson turnovers? Can we stop posting misleading Lamar stats? Can we stop posting misleading Josh Allen stats? Please, that's all I ask. I'm tired of Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. No, he's not. Sean Payton would like sell his kidney for Lamar Jackson. What are we doing, man? Football commentary is so toxic. Baseball commentary is too. That I will say is former player driven. A lot of it. We have some running jokes in the group chat. I'll say that. Football commentary is so like, can we use our brains a little bit? Can we use our brains? Because like Lamar is the only quarterback, it feels like, that the playoff performances are a knock. It's like, oh yeah, of course I take Joe Flacco over Lamar. Joe Flacco was horrible in the playoffs outside of one miracle year. Like what? He won a playoff game in Foxborough against Thomas Edward Brady by 20 points. He was 4 for 10, had no touchdowns, threw a pick. But Ray Rice scored on the first play, and they basically shut out the Patriots. So you're obviously going to win that game. He threw a pick, lost the next week. The Ravens have played 32 playoff games, 8 with Lamar Jackson, 24 without. In the 24 games with Lamar, or 24 games without Lamar Jackson, so Flacco, McNair, Dilfer, Tyler Huntley, the Ravens have forced a turnover in all 24 games, including multiple times. 3s, 4s, 5s, yeah, all of them. They had 0 of Flacco's 15 starts. They failed to force a turnover. They forced at least one in all of them. They picked off Peyton Manning twice in the famous Mile High Miracle game and allowed 2 return touchdowns because they're morons. Lamar Jackson's playoff career. The Ravens have forced a whopping 2 takeaways. It is unfathomable. It is truly unfathomable. They forced one of the Huntley start, naturally. They forced a fumble on former Raven Hayden Hurst. So Lamar Jackson has had 6 games in which his playoff defense has not forced a turnover. And I know that's not the whole thing, but it does have a compounding effect because it's not only taking the ball away from the defense or taking the ball away from the other team, it's also putting your team in a better position than a punt. So yes, the Ravens have forced quite a lot of punts as a playoff team. They were unbelievable against the Chargers in 2018. That was a Lamar. That's all on Lamar, but he's 21 years old. However much you want to blame him for that, he was atrocious in that game. They were booing. The Ravens fans were booing. They wanted Flacco to come in. The defense was sensational. It was as good as I've ever seen the defense play. Outside of maybe the Houston game, when I was there in person and watched them shellac CJ Stroud and co. But rookie CJ Stroud. 6 games, no turnovers. Turn the freaking ball over. Okay, that's all. I do add one point.
Yeah.
This is not to besmirch a Super Bowl winning quarterback of Alex's. We don't have the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl winning doesn't matter if it's Sam Darnold, but it's the only thing that matters to Lamar. And you knock him down below other quarterbacks that haven't won jack squat. It's like Joe Burrow hasn't won anything. Josh Allen hasn't won anything. Jordan Love hasn't won anything. Caleb hasn't won anything. Drake May hasn't won anything. But you don't elevate Sam Darnold. You just use it to besmirch the name of Lamar Jackson. I'm just confused because, like, Jim Kelly played in 4 straight Super Bowls, but any sane Bills fan would pick Josh Allen. But then when Ravens fans say, oh, yeah, Lamar is better than Flacco, it's like, oh, Flacco won a Super Bowl. Bills fans aren't doing the same with Jim Kelly, and Jim Kelly played in 4 Super Bowls. No team's ever done that. Not the Patriots, not the Steelers, not the Cowboys. Only the Bills went to 4 straight and lost all 4.
Yeah.
So, woof. but still. So that's my take.
Yeah, sports Twitter as a whole, this goes beyond, I think, the NFL. They're all gluttons for attention. They just post bad takes all the time. It's God, I see this with the NBA. They're like, oh yeah, we're the LeBron on the Sixers, yada yada yada. They're best team ever. It's like, all right, you guys just want to all right, let's just keep saying random stuff, blah, blah, blah.
By the way, make sure to follow us at LAR_baseball on Twitter.
By the way, follow us at we post good takes, though, I think.
Yeah.
Look, some of you guys might disagree with what we say, but make sure to follow us on Twitter. Anyway, Alex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Mariners fans, it's okay to trade Emerson Hancock. It is. Listen, I want to, as much as I like him and I very much love watching him pitch this year, you have to remember it's this year. I talked about it a little bit earlier on the podcast, but I wanted to make sure I had the exact numbers for this one. In 2026, he has pitched extremely well. A 3.16 ERA, and adding on to that here with he's already pitched over 100 innings. Here, 2.4 WAR. That is outstanding good. Let's look at the rest of the time that he has been able to play. Over the rest of his major league career, he has pitched in a grand total of 30 games, which, understandable. That's a fairly small sample size, especially when there's a bit of bounce around. But during that entire time, he never was good with Seattle. His best, arguably his best, was the first year that he was with us. He pitched in a grand total of 3 games and had a WAR of 0.1, which, okay, cool. That's fine. The next 2 years, he had a negative WAR on the team. This is the first year that he has done exceptionally well. So if you really want to maximize that value, you should be okay trading him. I like watching him pitch. I really enjoy what he does. He has that dog mentality. He's got the chip on his shoulder. I love it. But you also have a couple of guys in the minors that are itching to get up to the major leagues. Their names are Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. Everybody wants to see what they're going to do with the majors, and I'm sorry, Emerson, but as much as your 1/2 season of good so far is fun to watch here, I don't think I would trade Cade Anderson or Ryan Sloan. I would rather trade Emerson Hancock, especially while the value is spanking high. Just, if you get an opportunity to trade for, say, like a Mason Miller, right? Again, just to keep bringing that up, I don't think they will trade, but if you get that opportunity to get a star-level player, and they are asking for Emerson Hancock and another top prospect, you do it. Because it helps you so much in a year where the American League is so unbelievably wide open. Right now, the Mariners at the start of this year were picked as being one of the juggernauts of the American League. Maybe not because the Yankees exist and Boston exists and all that fun stuff, but they were picked as one of the number 1 teams in the American League West. The offense has fallen completely flat. The starting pitching has been so good. The fact that means that you now have to have 6 starting pitchers. But if you get the opportunity to sell unbelievably high on Emerson Hancock, you do it. If this is a take that comes back and hurts me years later, so be it. I've made a lot of those in my life. A lot of us have. That's why we're sports fans. We make these kinds of takes. But looking at the situation that you're in right now, his trade is the one that makes the most sense. And if I'm being fully honest, I would also trade Castillo because so you could get Sloan and or Anderson up here as well. But at the same time, just it's okay to trade Emerson Hancock. It's okay to accept and love what he has done for Seattle in the first half of the season. Here, he has really had a breakout campaign. It's also okay to say goodbye and to trade that when you see what could be happening in the near future, especially looking at his past results.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw what Passon said about he expects Hancock to get traded, I was like, I'm not so sure about that one. But at the same time, I mean, when you think about it, yeah, you would be selling high, and it would be only if you could get something else that could help you. Castillo, if that contract was not as underwater as it is, he probably would have been dealt already. I don't really know if they're going to do it at this point. It's kind of, I mean, it would have to be a salary dump, unfortunately.
Which is weird because it's not like he's a bad pitcher. Luis Castillo is still solid, and he helps most teams that he's on.
Yeah, and I'm sure some team could use a veteran. It's just they're in a weird spot, really. It's unfortunate where they've really, really underperformed, but at the same time, like the division's pretty bad, and the AL as a whole is pretty bad. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of mediocrity.
If you just fuck up and get what you need,
I mean,
you can make the World Series.
All these takes about like they should be sellers, and like I mean,
no.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Like, you could sell some guys, but like, you should not be selling your team here.
You are selling extra pieces, so you have enough trade chips to get the bigger pieces.
Yeah.
Ergo, trading away an Emerson Hancock, who has done extremely well for you, as well as a prospect, to get a Mason Miller.
Yeah.
And remember, with the prospects, they aren't like guaranteed to pan out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, we remember the trades that do work out. Jeff Bagwell got traded to the Astros, Fernando Tatis got traded to the Padres, stuff like that. We remember those. But there's so many trades that the return doesn't match up. I do want to throw out the Padres trading for Juan Soto with Juan Soto or with James Wood and CJ Abrams being awesome and going the opposite direction. But there were other prospects that haven't worked out.
Yeah, I mean, they DFA'd Robert Hassel this year. I mean, it was...
Yeah, and Yarlin Susana is still in single A, double A.
Yeah. I mean, Mackenzie Gore was solid, but they ended up trading him.
So you flipped him for more unheralded prospects. So that's... You end up getting this cycle of, is a prospect really going to live up to the pedigree? Sometimes they do. A lot of times they don't.
Yeah,
exactly. It's very boomer bust. And I understand, like, especially when it comes to, guys like Fenley Celestine or guys like Arroyo or any of these guys here, that the upside is absolutely there. But remember, the downside is there as well.
Hey, you traded Durangelo Sinja this offseason.
Exactly.
And he's lost value. Now, granted, I'm not saying Brendan Donovan has been the second coming of Rod Carew, but he's been a solid player.
Yeah,
and that
except during the rehab assignment, he's done horribly.
Yeah, well, that's you always
like
take those numbers with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, can someone count me down?
Yes, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, Mets fans need to stop disrespecting Francisco Lindor. It's ridiculous at this point. And for some reason, half the fan base is like, all right, let's trade him. For some reason, they're like hell-bent on trading Francisco Lindor. First of all, he's no trade clause, so that's not happening. But also, like, are we just forgetting what he's done for this franchise? All right, I'm just going to say he's the best shortstop in franchise history. He's better than Jose Reyes. Jose Reyes couldn't play defense. He has more power than Jose Reyes. And look, Jose Reyes was one of my favorite players growing up. Lindor, and he's a leader in the clubhouse. I mean, I know people disagree on that for some reason, but trust me, Francisco Lindor is a guy you keep. This year, yeah, he got injured, but now, ever since everyone started counting him out and saying he should, get traded or retire or whatever, now all of a sudden he's an above average player again. OPS is over 1,000 since you guys started counting him out. Under the hood, by the way, his metrics look pretty similar to some of his his successful years. He has 4 straight years in which he's a top 10 MVP finisher, including a runner-up finish. He's drawing walks this year, by the way. That's pretty good. His numbers do indicate he's gotten quite a bit unlucky, but it's a guy, he's had multiple 30-30 seasons. He had a year where he would have been 30-30 if he didn't hurt his back at one point. Like, it's just, I think it's a load of nonsense. This fan base is just so toxic. They need to stop disrespecting this guy. This guy, like I said earlier, he's going to have his number retired. He'll be in the Mets Hall of Fame. He's going into Cooperstown, probably wearing a Mets cap at this point. So, yeah. To all the idiots out there, this is a good player. I would venture to say he's a great player. So take your bad takes and put him somewhere else.
What? A New York sports fan has a bad take?
Yeah, I
what
know,
is
right?
This?
It's real mind-blowing there.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, I can't have stopped the presses. Stop them.
Truly.
Yeah, because New Yorkers famously very rational when it comes to sports.
Very rational and extremely level-headed.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially baseball fans. At least like the Knicks fans can talk out of their butt because they are the reigning champions.
But or there's Jets fans who I'm sorry, guys.
Did you hear the
Giants fans?
Yeah, from Plaxico Burress.
Yeah, that was
terrible.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry if anyone's a Jets fan.
And they were like,
I apologize.
I believe he was there when the Jets were like a somewhat capable.
They had just made the AFC Championship game again. Like
he wasn't there for like Zach Wilson. Or no, even he wasn't there. Let's see.
He was a Mark Sanchez guy.
He was there in 2011. The Jets, literally that season, were 8-5 and had just blown out the Chiefs. They had to win one of their last 3 games to make the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know Jets fans live a life of misery a little bit. At least the Giants have won 2 Super Bowl rings in our lifetimes. But anyway, that'll wrap things up for us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, like we said earlier, at LAR_baseball. Follow Alex at the SportsGuy242. Follow Splash at Mr. Splashman19. Follow myself at Mathias_A_K. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends about it, tell your mailman about it, tell your housekeeper about it. I don't know.
Mailman gets around, goes to a lot of different places, man.
Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow, leave a 5-star review, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. For all of us at LAR, thank you all for listening. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!